everybody, what is going on? And welcome to my review of Saw X, the 10th installment in the very long-running Saw franchise, which some may say may have overstayed its welcome by now. Anyway, so this film sees the return of Tobin Bell as John Kramer, aka Jigsaw, who, as we know from previous installments, this film is set between the first and second films, is dying from brain cancer, which is what motivated him to put people through tests and make them rethink their lives. So in this film, he finds out about a miracle operation that will cure him of his brain cancer, so he pays an extravagant amount of money to head down to Mexico City, where a team of kind of underground doctors have said that they will fix him up. So they throw him on a table, supposedly operate on him, to which later on he finds out that they did nothing of the sort. They have ripped him off of his money, left him with his tumor, and he's not a happy man. So therefore, John Kramer does what John Kramer does best. And these people wind up in a series of traps to which, you know, they can live or die, it's their choice, etc. So the film is directed by Kevin Grudert, who has directed a couple of the more recent ones. I think it might have been 6 and 7. I'm no Saw expert, so I don't know.
Let's talk about Saw 3D. Is it definitely the final chapter, do you think?
I really do believe that this is the final Saw film.
But he has edited most of the films since the very first one. So this guy knows his stuff. Anyway, when the trailer came out for this movie, I avoided it. Look, I am not a fan of the Saw franchise. I loved the first movie. When it came out in 2004, I went and saw it twice on its opening day. Admittedly, that wasn't by choice. I just double booked myself to see it with two different groups of people. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. The second film I thought was really good, except I thought it felt like a rushed sequel, and it turns out it was. It was the script for that film wasn't meant to be a Saw film, but they threw John Kramer and Amanda, played by Shawnee Smith, in there, and it's like, voila, instant Saw movie. The third one I liked, but I thought by then it was kind of overstaying its welcome. And then, yeah, the franchise just lost me after that. I thought it became way too convoluted and confusing. I thought shifting to other characters to take on the Jigsaw mantle was kind of crap. And it just relied too much on the so-called torture porn. You know, it was just all about the gore and that sort of thing, which, you know, yeah, is fun, but the films lacked anything in terms of a decent story or memorable characters that we could either get on board with or want to see them absolutely get messed up. And so, yeah, I didn't even see Spiral because, yeah, by then the franchise just lost me and I had no motivation to see that whatsoever, even though it was a spin-off film and it starred some great people. So when the trailer for this movie came out, I avoided it. I didn't even know what the plot of the movie was going into it. My fiance Kylie was like, oh, can we go see this? And I was like, sure, because you never know, okay? I mean, I'm one of these people that I'll give anything a go because you could be surprised. And oh boy, was I surprised by this film. It is really, really good. It is so much fun from start to finish. So yeah, being that I had no idea what the story was about, I'm kind of sitting there through the first act and I'm like, this is more like a drama, you know, about a man finding a cure for his cancer. Like, this is interesting. And then, yeah, when things took a turn, which thankfully I didn't know about, I was like, oh, okay, this is getting interesting. And then, yeah, when things really become a Saw film after that, you know, oh man, it was so much fun. So, yeah, Tobin Bell in this film is extraordinary. His performance really lent so much weight to the character in terms of the emotion and the sympathy that we feel to this guy. You know, he's always been kind of a grey area villain in terms of he's not a killer. You know, he's a person who sets people up to make a choice, you know, with often grisly consequences, but yeah, he's always been a very interesting villain in that term, and yeah, this movie really solidifies that in a huge way. Shawnee Smith is back as Amanda, his protege, and she's not just kind of thrown in for fan service. It is a really important film in terms of setting up the mentor and student relationship between the two in a big way. This film is all about John and Amanda. And yeah, it's an important stepping stone between the first and second films. They've done such a great job in bridging the two flicks. So yeah, in terms of the visual style and the look of the film and everything, it very much belongs between the first and second. It does have a lot of that kind of, as they used to call it back in the day, MTV editing. And yeah, in terms of the color palette, it's probably more like the second film, but yeah, it looked gorgeous. In terms of the gore and the traps, which is what a lot of people are going to be wanting to see in this film, oh man, it delivers big time. If you like your movie gore, you are not going to be disappointed by this film. There were so many scenes that had me squirming in my seat and covering my face, and yeah, there's a lot of stuff in this movie. You can really feel the pain that these people are going through. Yeah, I loved all that sort of stuff. Charlie Clouser is back to do the score of the film, and yeah, the music in the film was great. You know, the classic Saw theme being heard in all the right moments was just, yeah, amazing. And overall, I just had so much fun with the film. And mainly because it has a good story. It has good motivations for John Kramer to be doing what he's doing. And you are kind of on his side, really. I mean, you know, these people are horrible people in terms of what they're doing to others. And yeah, that was great. As far as what I didn't like in the film, the main thing for me... Now, look, I love the fact that Shawnee Smith came back for this role. I really do. I don't think it would have worked as well if they'd recast it. But that being said, if they're setting it between the first and second films, she did not look anything like she did back then. And again, points to the filmmakers for trying, but I don't know, either she's had a lot of work done or it was just really bad makeup or something, but she looked way too much older to fit in, you know, because I mean, if you're going to watch films 1X and 3 and 2, sorry, yeah, it's just going to stand out like a sore thumb, so to speak. And yeah, that was very distracting. But again, I do really appreciate the fact that she was back in the role. So it's a minor bug. But the other thing, look, I know it's a Saw film and you've got to suspend disbelief in terms of how elaborate the traps are and whatnot. But yeah, I don't know. There was stuff in this film that you just kind of like... How on earth could they have set this up to, you know, all these elaborate things to go off on certain timers and relying on someone to do this in order for that to happen? And I don't know, it was really hard to believe in a lot of respects. But again, I get it. It's a Saw film. You've got to just suspend disbelief and go along for the ride. And yeah, look, you know, it was fun. I also, it's not a criticism. I thought the ending just kind of happened very abruptly and left things kind of like, oh, okay, well, so what happened to this person and stuff? So yeah, the ending was a little bit abrupt, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. You can just, you know, use your imagination, I guess. But look, overall, yeah, this is the biggest surprise of the year for me, without question. I went into this thinking to myself, at best, I might mildly enjoy it. But yeah, it is a really, really fun flick. I can't wait to see it again. I'm definitely going to be owning it on Blu-ray when it comes out, because, yeah, this is a worthy addition, not only to the Saw franchise, but to horror films in general. So... yeah, that being said, I am surprisingly going to give Saw X an 8.5 out of 10. So there you go. That's something I did not expect I was going to be saying about this film. But here we are in this economy. Anyway, yeah, if you've seen Saw X, I'd love to know what you thought of it. What was your favorite trap from the film? I think mine would have to be something involving a wire saw and a leg. If you know, you know. Yeah, that was so hard to watch. But anyway, yeah. So fire away if you have seen Saw X. I would love to know what you thought about it. Drop me some comments down below because I like to talk about movies and I would love to talk about movies with you. Catch you next time.
Click subscribe to stay up to date with all the latest movie reviews. Skynet will be taking over any day now, so what have you got to lose? Nyah.